Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Under Construction. I am your host, Ellis, otherwise known as Trainman, or the Admiral, if you prefer. And here we are once again in the town of Mason Valley. And today our goal is to finish fleshing out the street network and the rail network of both the standard gauge and now the narrow gauge, as we did last episode, as well as to finish working the terrain here in the reservoir and add some of the mills that are going to be over here. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to move some stuff, right? So some of these mills are things that I've just sort of slapped down over here. Obviously this one has a place, but this one not so much, and this one I don't even know what it's doing. Honestly, this is going to be a difficult one to figure out, though. The thing that I need to do is get them set up over here. No. I don't want the bridge here. Get that out of here. And organize them. The other thing that needs to be moved is this building. I'm fed up with it. I put it there. I regret my decision. Or at least I feel like I could make a different decision in hindsight. So we're going to put this here. Now the thing is, right? So we have these buildings here. That means that we're going to have a bit of a dockside here. And the reason for that is that the narrow gauge serves these and not these. These buildings are their own thing. If we have a dockside there, what that means is we have to have a drawbridge here. So I do have some drawbridges. And let's poke through them, shall we? Drawbridge. I guess I don't have that many drawbridges, huh? Lift. I was downloading a ton of lift bridges, and I guess I didn't finish downloading any of them. So I will have to finish doing that at some point. Well, that's kind of a shame. We have a... let's see. How about a swing bridge? Selby rail? No. Spears rail. Holy mackerel. That's not built in. Seaford swing bridge. Ah! That's more like it. This is Ben Dorsey, I can tell by the textures. This looks like one that's in Seattle. Or was in Seattle. So yeah, we'll do this. We'll leave this here. Oh. Well, apparently it's only good if you're really, really low to the water. So, we'll have to find another one. There. I don't want that. I don't need that. Leaning truss bridge. Weird. Yeah, I was downloading a ton of them at one point, and then, I suppose it probably crashed. Oh, this is cool. I have to use this at some point. I downloaded a ton of things, including all these Clinchfield bridges, but I never got around to downloading all the drawbridges that I wanted. Bridge of the Gods. I wonder where this is. Probably says so in the description. Laurel Line bridges. Nah. BDW bridges. That's not a bridge. Yeah. Well, we'll keep this here. Obviously, it's not the situation to sit here. But if we don't find an alternative, what we'll do is, or if I don't find another Ben Dorsey bridge that fits the bill, what I'll do is I'll add stuff to make these bits taller. Anyway, the other thing we can be doing is adding in the line for the barge. It'll go to here and to there and to up here, I guess now. So, yeah. That's what we'll do. The other thing is we need to find we need to build a waterfront there and here. This also needs to be set up. So I'm not sure about this building. We have used this before, but that's not why I'm unsure about it. I'm just sort of thinking, is there a better place for it? Because where it is right now is not really conducive to rail access, and because of that, it sort of makes me hesitant about, well, its existence. So, I don't know. I'm not sure what I want to do, but I do know that I should do something. Even if that's as much as moving this, like, here so that I can get a track up to it more easily. I don't know. And as for this building, we'll figure that one out later. The other thing is, I'm not sure what to do with this. I'm honestly not. I don't think this town really needs something like this. So, maybe I'll just ignore it for now. I won't do anything with this. I'll leave it here, but I won't do anything with it. So, yeah. If I change my mind later, it'll always be there. Okay, so let's get rid of these. These are basically artifacts from when we were working on the place. And now that it's finished, they're all set. The thing that I do want to do is I want to build some sort of building up here, some sort of powerhouse. Let's see if I have something by that description. So we're how long into this video, and I'm starting to actually build. We're 6 minutes in. Okay, well, that's not really what I was looking for. How about dam something? Dam substation. Hey, look, it's ADA compliant. This works. Although I don't know what... That's not what I want. It's the little cargo ship, the Rotterdam. Okay, let's find a little building that works then. It's definitely not called Dead Tree. That's definitely not it. Wait, did I just do what I think I did? Derelict barn, derelict barrel, derelict building, derelict car pile. We could use this over at the other place in Olive. Okay, I don't want derelict stuff. Let's just get past that. Diesel tank, self-bundled, diesel refueling tanks. No, we wouldn't need those for anything. Hold on a minute. How good is this river? Oh, we ruined it at some point. Maybe I never finished it. I don't know. You know. Well, that doesn't make any sense now. Never mind. We got a Dodge Ram. Sweet. Something crossed my mind, which was, say this was like a canal river. If this was particularly flat from here. If this was a canal river, you could have the railroad alongside it as like a towpath, Although that wouldn't really make sense. But the thought that crossed my mind was, well, what if you're dropping off goods here, putting them on barges, and, sending them that way? Never mind. So, I've got all these downtown buildings, but that's really not what I want. Got drums. Oh man, we can't find anything that really fits right now. I'm trying to think of the kind of buildings that I saw at Lock 7 on the Erie Canal, which is a place that I once visited. This is not bad. And this would sort of be indicative of what was previously here. The thing that we can do, aside from using the raised ground track on this area right here, because it clearly needs it. Or hypothetically needs it. The other thing we can do is to flatten at least a little bit out, and then also we need to go through and we need to fix the river height here. So, I need to get rid of all this water. There's water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. And the thing we need to do is we need to add... So this doesn't make any sense the way it is, I'm going to be honest. But honestly, the waterfall should be over here if I was going to be doing it right. But, you know, whatever. It's not the way we're doing it. Because this... Yeah, I totally did this backwards. Oh well, we're just gonna have to live with that. I'm not redoing it because it came out gorgeous. Like, it looks really good even if it doesn't make any sense. The only thing that I could do is, you know, push this out and make a much larger area up here. And then maybe add some sort of earthen dam or whatever here. And that, you know, that might alleviate the nonsense, but on the whole, it really doesn't. So, actually, this could be like a spillway. That would make sense, except I would still need to make this area flat, which it's not, because of the rail line is on an incline here. And if I were to flatten it out like that, then we'd have to move this. Whatever. We'll just have to be subtle about our drops here. I mean, subtle drops are boring. Everyone likes those big drops. Wah, 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 wah. The face when you realize that Santa Claus has the same number of syllables as Bangarang. The only reason I bring that up is because you could fit it into the song, and I was singing that in the car with Madison. We were being idiots. It's what you do. It's what you do. Okay, that's not very subtle, but, you know, that's also extremely not subtle. Oh, and I deleted some water here. Didn't want to do that. Okay, so I do have a bunch of comments. I will talk about them all. What level is the water down here? 8. Oh, 1. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Let's see. Let's go to 15 and see how this looks. Not good. Okay, awesome. Excellent. Exactly what I wanted. Actually, you know what? You know what? I say that as a joke, but it really doesn't look half bad if I add the rapids in the right place. So, let me... No, go... No, not that. Yeah, like that. Like that, like that. And then... Let's add like a 17, or maybe a... Yeah, let's try 17, like, right in here. No. Oh, because you have to delete it and then replace it. And I deleted one more block of water than I actually wanted to. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, yeah, Santa Claus. Right. There we go, right. Need higher sensitivity. More steam, Coleman. Okay, so we have that. Now I just need to turn it into a waterfall. Okay, let's tell it sad things. Let's show it the first 10 minutes of up. That always turns me into a waterfall. Okay, so now we have this. Except this is not great. We never actually finished this side. The other thing is, we might need, I was going to say want, but really what I should say is need, the 5-meter grid to make this look right. Because otherwise you have these gaps here, and that's not good. So, yeah. We will almost definitely actually need the 5-meter grid to make this look right. So, the thing is, this river at this point right here is way too narrow. At least that would be a very fast-moving part of the river. You know, at least. If not, it would just be total chaos. Okay, so I need to move that closer. No. Here we go again with this. Here we go. I remember you click up there for that. No, wrong thing. I want the tall one. There we go. Okay. Oh, that's why. I probably did that last time, and then it leaves this little gap here. There we go. I'd rather there be a little bit too much overlap than leave a gap. Okay. So, now that we have this in place, and you guys can give your thoughts and prayers on what you think of this area, this place. So we have this, and we'll need to, what is this? We'll need to build some water pipes from it, or whatever. Let's see, we got townhouses, we got Victorian houses, we've got whatever the heck you are. We've got some dust bins, East Lehigh down buildings. Okay, interesting. This is a train station, I'm pretty sure. East Lehigh. Oh, it's not East Lehigh. It's East Lehigh. Wow, I'm dumb. EBT Paint Shop. Oh, I'm sure we aren't going to get use out of any of these. Over there. Or back in Geiger City or whatever it's called. I kind of want to use this just as is right here because it looks like a great little mill thing. Yeah, I think I will. It's a company store. It's not like a railroad building. Well, it is, but you load 16 tons, and what do you get? Edinburgh Power Box, trash bin, EET Brewery. Wow, what is this? That's really cool. EET Factory, EET Industrial Shelter. Whoa! Why have I not seen these? Where did I get them? EET Pro... Okay, you know what? I need to pull up the content manager so I can see if these things are useful to me or not. And I know you guys can't see this. I apologize. Whoops. Alright, I clicked off the window by accident. I'm gonna move that over there. Move this over here. Gonna move this, gonna move that. Gonna move this, gotta move that. You're up. EET. Let's see. Oh, there. Wait a minute. Nope, it's not it. It's showing me everything with the word EET in the name. Or with the letters. Now, okay, so I can actually use these. The brewery, the factory, the Prussian houses, which I don't think I need. EJ factory buildings. EJ. Can I use these? These are all installed from the download station as well. So they're very simple. Pick something, better built in Minecraft. Although this one's passable, I think I used this for, over here, right? Yeah, this is that with better textures. As done by Mason and then re-uploaded. J Factory elevated walkway. I feel like there's a specific way that those things are supposed to go together. But Okay. Yeah, over here are going to be some of the oldest mills, probably. Because I had, like, mill races through here. Emergency flashing stuff. Engine sheds. No. Eerie car repair building. Does it have a big door on one end, or is it just... No. Okay, this looks cute enough to go up here. Extra large university. Could use that in the future. I wanted to delete it. I'll place the second one. Prickly pear cactus. Fabric. Ooh, this is nice, actually. Little European. Especially the fact that it has German writing on it. But, you know. I wish I had a longer building to attach to this. Because it would really finish the island. Or whatever you want to call this. Oh, you know what? Maybe I do. This is such a good building. Honestly. Factory flat roof? What? What? What am I supposed to do with that? International manufacturing. Let me see if I can use this one. Factory general goods. Generic Factory 1 DES is the only one I can't use. But Factory General Goods DES I can use. So I'll have to use this somewhere. Kind of a weird orientation, but you know. Factory office. It's got some snow on the roof for some reason. Let's push this, like, over here. We're basically building a diorama. Should I turn this 180 degrees? Yeah, I should. And the other thing I can do with it is, lower it until that touches the ground. Maybe it'll look a little better. Because this is on so much of a slope, it sort of ends up looking weird. Okay. So, now what we need to do is this. So that's an active shipper. As weird as that may be. But you know what? I'm gonna sort of make it offload in the... What did I just do? In the yard here near the building. The other thing I'm going to do is this. So grab this and apply it there. Wait, really? No, it's not. That's not leveled. What? You serious? You're serious? Surely you can't be serious. Oh, let me see the gradients. Oh, I can't believe you've done this. Okay, yeah, it was serious. Okay, well, you know what, just have to get rid of that. And do something like this. I'm not going to do the towpath idea, although that would be an idea. And this is not going to be a permanent thing. This is going to be we're going to build a road bed sort of thing. Because, you know, where else would this be going? Like I said, some dual gauge at some point. I was originally going to have that be a dual gauge roundhouse, if you guys recall. So the other thing is this right here. Maybe we could make like a little bitty switching puzzle up here. Here's the thing though, a switching puzzle is sort of against my own best interests, considering the fact that I'm going to be programming the AI to do it. So maybe I shouldn't maybe I shouldn't be too puzzling. But the other thing I'm going to do is add this. So we've, you know, like I said, I'm building a diorama. This is, hopefully I can get this area scenic and make it look nice. Make it all nice. Here's what I'll do. Let's turn this thing around. Let's get like a little platform. Platform bench. No. No, I want... Oh, god darn it. Put it over here. Platform. I want just one of the little platforms. Yeah, like this. Lamp. Right, put this here. Is there just a door I can add to the back of this building? Let's see. Door. That's not what I want. Maybe I can use these. Not quite. Now I'm rotating the wrong thing. And now I need to lower it into position. There we go. Looks totally natural. Thanks, Mason, for giving me this kind of idea. Anyway. Okay, so we have, like, what is sort of the track plan for this area. I think I'm gonna let that be for a little while. What should I do next? Well, let's do some comments. First, Mason says, I identify with Oliver on a spiritual level. And, I say, don't we all, in some way? Except you're not even in college yet. You've got nothing to, like, how can you even? You don't understand. You could never understand. Okay, maybe you can. Yes, Oliver, my poor depressed dog. I identify with him too. Anyway, let's do another short comment. Broken Bob 13 says, I have the same brand of wallet. I'm on my second one. You're on your second one. How long did your first one last? I'm curious. For the record, he's talking about the company Mighty Wallet, which is my wallet, which is a map of the New York City subway. I love that wallet, not only because of, what's on it, but because it's lasted me forever. It's starting to show its wear now, but I've had that thing for, I don't know how many years. Long time. Real long time. Alright, what are we going to do with these factory buildings? So, if these are going to be getting stuff off the water, they probably should be turned like this. Well, that one at least. Or something, right? Right? Or like, like that. It's just that this, you don't have any doors facing the water on this building if you turn it this way. You only have these two. But, maybe that's the best we're going to get. The other thing is, I want to have, or I was planning on having, some sort of water pipes coming off of this. Oh, you know what? I need a water tower at the end of this. Let's see. Not like that. That's too new. Here we go. Just park this here at like one of the higher spots. And maybe just sink it into the ground just a little bit so there's no worries that it's floating. Okay. So, now that we've gotten that... Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to fly down to the main line and make sure that the signal bridges are fixed, because I ran a database repair the other day. Hopefully nothing crashes. Not the computer, not the game. Nothing. Ideally, nothing will crash. So, the thing is, we've got this area here. We need to go across the river on some sort of bridge. Yeah, come on. There we go. Across the river on some sort of bridge. This needs to be straightened. And interface with the narrow gauge in some capacity. I'm not entirely sure what we're going to be doing, but if I had to hazard a guess, it'd be moving logs out. Or sorry, if we're going by how the Geiger Mountains worked, we're going to be putting logs onto trains here. So we're going to have trains that come down with logs from Olive or wherever, and they put them on trains here. So we've got a couple of buildings there. Yeah, I'm almost definitely getting rid of that. There's no reason to keep it. We need to start blocking out areas for, like, fences and whatever. So we've got this. We did actually build the road. That's the other thing. We need to, like I said at the start of the episode, we need to, actually finish the road network. We need to balance out the cut that we're about to do and the curvature, the vertical curve in the road. That seems pretty balanced to me. Okay, let's do that. Let's not do that. What we're going to want to do is to lower the... No. My glass of water is right in the way. Put a spline point here. That just lowered it right to the ground. That's pretty good. That's what I want. What I really, really want. Let's pull this out to here. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Okay, so the other thing is we don't have, like, oblique intersections to play with, so I'm going to have to get creative with my intersections. Or really what I can do is just straighten these out. But, you know. We also need to send the road in that direction. Yeah, so let's throw down some intersections. What we're using here are yarn roads or yarnish roads. We're using yarnish roads that gives us a few more options with a lot of things. Yarnish. So we have these crossings, that's not what we want. Divided highways, no thank you. Exits, nah. Intersections, okay. Somebody was looking for this one a while ago. No, they were looking for one with just one brown, or not brown, one dark gray end. Yeah, so this is the inverse of that, but I don't think there. Oh wait, no, yeah, there's this. So that does exist. Okay, good to know. This is a fun one, but not what we need. We need these. No, what do we need? No, I don't want these. I don't want the L4s. I want the ones that are just... No. Yeah. No. Oh wait. Aren't they called like Yarnish T intersections? Yarnish sign? Yeah, Yarnish intersections. Okay. There's that one. There's this one. Okay. This isn't the one that's broken, right? That's just the regular yarn ones. Okay, so let's find all of our T intersections in town and put down our intersections here. This feels like not what we're supposed to be doing, but let's face it, we have to do all these things. I want to put this here so that we can get that curve leading up to it that we need. And same thing with this one. But putting it like there. This road already has a bit of curvature in it, so might be a tick more difficult to get it aligned properly. But we'll figure it out, I'm sure. And if not, we're going to ask Mason. I asked him about making like custom intersections the other day out of stuff that's in the game, and he said that I'm not able to get my hands on the right sort of road lines, which is a shame. But he's the one that would know, so I'll defer to him on all things road in this game. In fact, the other day somebody asked something road related, and I had remembered that Mason had mentioned also something along those lines, and I just like added him 3 times in a row. Like, get over here and answer this man's question, because you know what needs to be said. This. So this I might not make a real intersection. This I might just make a curve in the road and another one that goes off that way. But for now, I'll leave that there. Alright, gonna move this here. Yeah, that's the part that's limiting. You can't really do oblique intersections unless you really want to get funny with things. And, I'm totally down for doing that, but I usually don't. Because it takes a lot of time. Just look at the time that we spent on the dam over there. If there was just 1 or 2 objects that, or 1 or 2 splines that went along with them that could have made that happen, we could have spent, 20 minutes on it instead of 2 hours practically. So, yeah, there are things, there are reasons why I don't usually spend time making stuff custom-like. Because we have a lot of map ahead of us, and I would like to be efficient, at least as much as I can. There we go. I was wondering why that wasn't snapping properly. Oh, you know what? Get rid of that. Okay. Alright, so let's get all these down. Now everything's quiet again, because we're not near the waterfalls. It's, like, eerily quiet. Let's get all these down, and then we'll do a little bit more thinking. And, in the meantime, let me read one more comment. Oh, great. Scotia Films. First, he buys a new car to get away from my smell, and the next you know, he pulls up in a totally different car because he says his dashboard is still smelly. Everyone's a critic. Yeah, well, if you took a shower every once in a while, we wouldn't need to be critical, TJ. I'm kidding, of course. But it is funny that the last, like, 2 times that we went to Essex, it was all different cars. Like, it was both times a car that, well, not a car that he hadn't ridden in before in the second instance, I think, but not the car that I'd had for many years. So, the first time was in the wagon, which was the first time I took him anywhere in the wagon, I believe. And then the second time was in my dad's car because we were going on the highway and the wagon has its overdrive problem. Speaking of which, okay, this is actually a great springboard, kind of. So, you guys probably know about my wagons. My Volvo wagon. I have a 240, a 1993 240 Volvo wagon, and it has an issue with the overdrive relay, which it's not engaging. I basically don't have overdrive in my car. So, that's a problem, because, I mean, many people may not know what overdrive is, because it's sort of it's a weird concept. I didn't understand why it was a thing for a while, but with Volvo and these cars in particular, the reason overdrive exists is because you have your first three gears that are part of your normal 3-speed transmission. And then you have an extra gear. You have a 4th gear. And the reason it's an extra gear is because originally the car didn't come with 4 gears. It came with 3. And the 4th one was tacked on because the car needed to be able to go faster. So that's what overdrive is. It's an extra additional 4th gear that, oh, you know what? I'm gonna do one of these instead. That is not part of the main 3-gear transmission. Anyway, mine isn't working, as you might be able to ascertain from what I've already said. So, I cannot engage that extra gear that I'm supposed to have to reach highway speeds. And therefore, I have a real tough time reaching highway speeds. Because of that, I tend to stay off the highway with my wagon. And so when we went to Essex the other day, which I did talk about on the podcast, yeah, I talked about it on the podcast, we took my dad's Subaru, Subaru Forester, which is, you know, a nice car. It's an 03. It's a little old as well, but, you know, it's nice enough. And so we drove that out there, but it was just, you know, it was another new car, and of course it was, like I said, because my dashboard still smelled, not because I couldn't get the car to the mechanic or didn't feel like paying for that repair yet. But I'll have to at some point, and I wanted to this week, because, well, the car stopped running again, but the thing about that is, this is something that I found out just today, just a couple of hours ago, because I got a call from my mechanic. I'd called him back on Tuesday. Now, today's Thursday. I'd called him on Tuesday to ask him when he was available. I'd called him last week and said, you know, how is your garage? And he's like, oh, you know, we're busy over here, but call me early next week and we'll work something out. And I said, all right, I'll call you, you know, Monday or Tuesday. And he's like, that's great. And so I call him back on Tuesday, and he doesn't answer. And I go, you know, I'm usually pretty impressed that this guy Tony is always Johnny on the spot with his cell phone, despite the fact that he's working in a garage. Basically, every single time I call him, he picks up. So I'm pretty happy with him for that. I'm pretty proud of him. Pretty impressed, I should say. And then I don't hear from him. He doesn't pick up. So I go, all right, oh well, this one time he doesn't pick up. Whatever, I guess he's not going to get that compliment, haha. I'll have to just, I'll leave him a message, I'll talk to him soon. So I left him a message. I didn't hear from him. Wednesday goes by, I decide, you know what, I won't call him because he's, he probably hasn't gotten my message or he's super busy or whatever. And I'm glad I didn't, because Thursday rolls around and I'd say, well, I'll give him another call. Let's see what happens. I'll give him another call. I call him up. Doesn't answer. I go, what the hell? What the hell's going on? Maybe he blocked me. He was tired of me. No, but he doesn't answer. And I go, well, he's definitely not getting that compliment now. But I wonder what the hell has happened to my mechanic. And I get a call from him later, and he sounds like death. And I'm like, oh. And, like, hey, what's going on? How are you? Well, he asked me, how are you? Whatever, we exchange how are yous, as you do, as is customary. And he goes, things have not been so great for me. I have the flu. I haven't gotten out of bed in 2 days. I just came over to the shop today because I was feeling a little bit better. And I was like, oh crap, that sucks. And, pretty much my exact words to him were, alright, well, don't worry about me, just call me back when you're feeling better, and then we'll work something out. He's like, alright, give me a call on Monday, I'll probably be feeling better by then. And I was like, okay, if that's what you want me to do, that's what I'll do. I'll call you back on Monday. And so, now I'll call him back on Monday. And if my boss asks me where I've been, I have to explain to him that my mechanic has the flu and was not able to look at my car as I wanted him to. Stuff happens, It's really unfortunate timing, but it's nobody's fault. And, we'll all just have to deal. And if things were really desperate, there is another shop around the corner that I could take my car to. They know my family really well, but the thing is, they're not Volvo-specific mechanics, so it's not that I don't trust them, but I would rather take my car to a Volvo-specific mechanic, which is why I go to Tony in the first place. So, yeah, such is life. Mechanic's got the flu. Hopefully he feels better soon, because I want to get my car fixed, but also because I hope he feels better soon. He's a great guy, so my best wishes go out to him. Anyway, let's see here. So that can attach to that while we're here. Split that spline point. Thank you. Put that there, put that there. Okay, so we're getting our intersections installed. I feel like I'm at work almost. Oh, crud. At work I'm going to get put on a project to do all these traffic signals, which I am not one that does traffic signal stuff very often. You'd think I am, but on the whole, I don't have a whole lot of experience with traffic signals. I do with trip generation and networks of intersections and that sort of thing, but not too much actual traffic signal design. It's just not something I'm overly familiar with. I'm excited to do it, excited to try, but it's going to be a very new thing for me, so anyway. I got a message today from one of Madison's friends asking me if I knew of any jobs that were available, at my work that had anything to do with construction. I had to explain that we're not a construction firm, we're an engineering firm, and the construction is normally done by other people. And I did say I would look out for stuff, but I don't know how much I'm going to be able to find out, considering we don't really, or I don't at least, have any direct interface with the people who actually do the construction. As much as I'd like to help out, I'm just not sure how helpful that I could be. So, that's a slice of my life today. This week, tonight. Let's see, where are we? We're like 49 minutes in. We're actually not as far as I thought. So, oops. I definitely need to take some time aside and do some trees, because that's what's limiting a lot of our stuff right now. Obviously, we have plenty to do. We're doing this right now. But I would like to get more scenery done, and we can't do that until we have more trees done. As you guys I'm sure know, trees have the limitation because the trees go in first. Well, the grass goes in first, and then the trees. But the grass is pretty much done in the areas that need trees. Or at least the next immediate areas that need trees. So yeah, it's gonna be something to try and get that worked out. Set some time aside for doing that. Hopefully I'll be able to. Somebody did mention on the zombie train video, or yeah, I believe it was a zombie train video. I should do more things like that. It's like old school Geyer Mountains. I would love to if I had the time. Sunday driving is supposed to be like that, and I never get the chance to do Sunday driving. You guys know. So, unfortunately, as much as I would love to do more things like that, I can't, I don't find the time. Also, my throat is so dry. I apologize for having to drink tons of water this time around, but I've almost gone through my whole glass, and we're not even at halfway through the video. I don't know why I'm so freaking thirsty today. Maybe it's because I just ate a whole pizza. And that's kind of not necessarily out of character for me. I'm a man who loves his pizza, but it is a whole pizza that I just ate by myself. It was a small one, though. But, you know, you see like a smaller pizza, and you don't go, oh, I'm going to eat this whole thing. Oh, I'm so fat. It's more like it's a smaller pizza. This is just for me, though, so maybe I should, moderate myself. I didn't do that at all. I ate the pizza. Like lock, stock, and crust, I guess. And it was good. Like, I don't normally get pizza. It was a Pure Pizza. Are they like a wider chain than I'm thinking? I don't know. I feel like I see them all over the place. But, I'm a Rhode Islander. What do I know? All over the place is nowhere for me. So, whatever. Pure Pizza. Small, like a personal pizza. Pretty good. Pretty good. Originally, you're going to get a Little Caesars. I do love me some Little Caesars. Little Caesars, it's not good pizza. It's really not. It doesn't pretend to be good pizza either. It's just like, you go in there and you walk out with a pizza for $5. You know what you're getting. You're not going to be disappointed by the quality of the pizza. Because you just paid $5 for it and you did not have to wait. It's, it's a different sort of thing. It's not even, dare I say, it's not even like Domino's. Where Domino's, it's like, you're going to get good pizza, you're waiting like 40 minutes for it. Domino's used to be garbage when I was growing up, and now here we are, and Domino's is like really friggin' good. I love Domino's pizza, and I never thought I would say that in my life. If you ask like 10-year-old me, are you ever going to eat Domino's pizza? I'd be like, no, get that out of here. It's Garbo. Well, I wouldn't have said it's Garbo, because Garbo Man. I didn't know of the great Garbo Man yet, so I wouldn't have said it's Garbo. But I would have thought that. The equivalent thought would be there. So, yeah, even young me knew. But now it's like, there are other pizzas that I'm not going to eat, and it's most other chains. Again, Little Caesars, you know what you're getting. I'm not going to knock Little Caesars, because how can you, really? But, like, Papa John's, or Papa Gino's even, either of those, or, like, Pizza Hut, or, just most other nationwide pizza chains, I feel like, they're just not good. That's what I had for Cece's Pizza, which I've been there once, and the pizza was not bad. It wasn't great, but it's, again, it's sort of like the Little Caesars situation where you don't go there for great pizza. If you want great pizza, you go somewhere else. You want great pizza, you go to Italy. That's what you do. But if you want great pizza in the States, you go to like a smaller shop. You don't go to Cece's Pizza Buffet. The appeal is that it's a buffet and that it's all right there, and that it's like a bunch of different flavors of pizza that you can just eat until you're fat, like you gorge yourself on pizza, and that's it. Like there's nothing else to say. It's just what you do. I've been there once and I was like, I get it. I totally understand. Anyway. Let me... Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. So we're dealing with these finicky intersections here. We're going to have to do signalization at some point. Like signalized, unsignalized, that sort of thing. Give me that, put there. Give me that, put there. So today, I want to get to... Ice of the Blue Lion, I think it was, left me one of his signature Gigundor comments, which I will not get to until the second half of the show, because it's going to be a lot. And thank you, appreciate it. I wanted to talk about a couple other things first, not the least of which being the fact that I watched Silver Streak today for the first time. First of all, I didn't realize that was a Mel Brooks comedy. AMC, so we have cable, although we're not going to have it for long. My dad is like, nah, it costs too much, we don't use it for anything. Basically, he only cares about it for football season, and I understand. So he's probably going to be getting rid of it when football season is over. I grabbed the wrong thing. Idiot, dumb idiot. And so I'm going to be like, oh, okay, I'll get something. Because he's going to get like unlimited data on his phone. He doesn't even use the internet for much, so I'll be doing that. I'll be buying the internet from here. Anyway, oop, do that. Oop, do that. Oop, do that. All right, we're good. I was watching AMC just to put something on the back, put something on in the background because I was working from home because, can't get to work, as previously stated. No, not that one. Idiot. Not that one. This one. Fool. Okay. So, put something under the background. And I was just scrolling through stuff, and I see, ooh, on AMC, you got Silver Streak. And I've never seen Silver Streak. And I knew what Silver Streak was. Like, I knew the crash, at least. I'd seen that scene on, like, every crash compilation, movie crashes, or, like, just looking it up on the internet. Like, because the Silver Streak crash, if you read about... What the hell did I attach this to? If you read about, like, the 1953 crash of the... what was it? I don't remember which train it was. But... Pennsylvania Railroad and New Haven joint train that went through the wall, the front wall of Washington Union Station in D.C. Inspired the crash in... Why am I looking at that one again? Inspired the crash in Silver Streak. And so I had heard about the crash, and I'd watched the scene, like I said. But I didn't know any of the context, like none at all. I just knew there was a movie called Silver Streak, where the train comes through the wall. And so I saw Silver Streak was on, and I was like, well, I have to watch this. And so I put that onto the background, and I'm sort of like, I'm paying half attention to it because I'm working. I'm not watching the movie. And, it's a little funny, and you see stuff, go on, and it's like, oh yeah, clearly this is a Mel Brooks movie, obviously because Mel Brooks is in it, but because, he has that signature style of comedy. And, honestly, pretty entertaining movie. Everything that goes on, it's a murder mystery, except replace Hercule Poirot with Mel Brooks, and, the Orient Express with the Southwest Chief. And, and there you go. There you have the Silver Streak. What else could you really ask for? It's the closest thing we're going to get to an American Murder on the Orient Express. And, I'm really just sort of, like, saying this, like, put this on my FOMA resume. It's it's one of those must-see FOMA movies that I've now seen. And, you know, it's funny that I say these must-see Fomer movies. So, if we think about that, maybe we should all compile a list. What is on the must-see Fomer movies? And I'm talking only fiction titles, so no documentaries. But, you know, Fomer movies only. What would we be talking about? Or, you know, what are movies that fit that description? Now, I think, despite their badness, things that need to go on that list are 587, The Great Train Robbery. Yes, I know, it's bad. It's like really bad. And Thomas and the Magic Railroad. I think they both have to go on the list, despite how bad they are. They are mandatory Fomer movies. You have to watch them. And right now, Madison has seen one of them. In fact, she wanted to watch one of them. I talked about this at length a while ago. She made me rewatch 587, The Great Train Robbery, on the train. Because she wanted to see it. And she pulled it out of my shelf and she thought it was cute. And she really enjoyed it, and I'll be honest, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it despite myself. I was like, this is a terrible movie, but they're saving the engine, I can't believe it, look, they got it out, look, it's going, oh my god. I was so bad, I almost cried. I honestly almost cried. I was holding back tears because I didn't want her to look at me and be like, I thought you didn't like this movie. And I would have to explain myself, but like, man, it makes you feel good inside when they get that engine out of the scrapyard. I was watching it realizing even more things that absolutely don't make sense about that movie. But, you know what? That's not what you're there for. That's not what you're in for. What's another one? Not The Other Guys. The Other Guys is a different movie. But Tough Guys. Tough Guys is definitely a Fomer movie that has to be watched. And I think Murder on the Orient Express and, Polar Express. Let's see, what other movie was I just thinking of? It was sort of along those lines. Murder on the Orient Express, Polar Express. Darjeeling Limited, maybe? I actually haven't seen that one, but, I mean, it's a Wes Anderson movie. It's a great introduction to Wes Anderson, but it's also a train-centric movie, so you kind of have to watch it. What's another one? Another train-centric, like a mandatory Fomer movie. If you guys have thoughts, put them in the comments. On mandatory Fomer movies that you have to watch if you like trains. And again, I'm talking about fiction only, no non-fiction or documentaries or things like that. I can't think of any other ones off the top of my head, but I'm certain there are other ones. Oh, The General. Or, not, yeah, is it? The Great Locomotive Chase, sorry. The Great Locomotive Chase. The General I'm pretty sure The General's the locomotive. Or one of them, right? I don't know. Been a while. Lots of Buster Keaton. Let's be honest. The guy loved trains. The other one, just for the train scenes in it, I think I'm gonna have to say, The Lone Ranger, the more recent one. What kind of gradient is this? Hold on, because I really need to check this out. Because if this is too steep, then we can't do it. That's a 13% grade. Oh, that's more than you should have, probably. But honestly, what am I going to do otherwise? Probably like this. Something. This is going to look weird now, but whatever. Oh, right. Obviously, there's no gradient for that. Whatever. This is going to be covered in trees. Who cares? 12%. Not really any better. It's really more than you want to have on a road. But I suppose here you don't really have many options. And I'm gonna do my best to make this a little bit more natural. Let's see. It doesn't seem to be working. I just said I would make this more natural. I'm making it worse. I'm making it much worse. Immediately much worse. That's a good band name. Immediately much worse. Maybe Dangerous and Rapidly Growing Worse is another good band name. What's another movie? What's another totally, like, Fomer necessity film? Now I'm going to be thinking about this forever. We need to create a list of these. And don't anyone say, like, what is that awful Lionel one? Don't. Well, I guess maybe you could. I included 587, so who am I to talk? And Thomas the Magic Railroad, so I don't know. Who's the Mara Wilson? I always had a crush on that girl. She was Matilda too, wasn't she? That'd be why. Like, not even from Thomas the Magic Railroad. I loved Matilda as a kid. Honestly, had to be one of my favorite kids' books. I would read it again if I had it. You know what? I might, on a shelf somewhere. I should try and find it. Anyway. Matilda. Yeah. Okay, let's get to this comment. Let's quit lollygag. So did you ever go and get those SAP Industries to work? Well, I mean, does it look like it? Because... no. You're waiting on that so that I can explain to you how to do them, aren't you? I know you expressed, like, confusion and frustration at them at an earlier point. So, you know, I get it. I haven't spent the time. I honestly... I'm not at that spot in this area yet. And I probably won't be for some time. So, no. No, I have not. The SAP Industries, I mean, honestly, if I look at them, they don't look too bad. They do not look too bad. And... okay, I'll amend that. They look daunting, but if you really, like, look at what the settings are and stuff like that, they don't seem like they're really daunting. At least I don't think so. I don't think, I think they're much less complicated than they may appear at first glance. So that's my 2 cents on those, on the SAP Industries. Okay, the other thing is we need to start building stuff out on this side of the river. That's the other thing. So we have all of these roads, and these are going to be the roads of the town. Well, at least all of the paved roads. This road's going to go up this way. Let's see what we've got let's see what we've got for roads over here. So we have this, which doesn't go anywhere. Oh, because that's just a diversion. God, there are a lot of people traversing this gravel road. So that doesn't have to come this way because that's a diversionary route to, like, an overlook, a scenic overlook or something. But we do have that highway that runs through here, and I haven't figured out where that goes exactly yet. And I know, well, it's going to go to the other side of the peninsula, more or less. And there's an interstate that runs pretty much straight from Jefferson that way. So, you know, there's another way of getting across. This is the old way. And I don't think there are any other roads that go this way, so I don't know of any other ones that need to be completed on that end. There's this one, which needs to be completed on this end. Although I think I did that. I vaguely recall doing that, or at least I think I remember considering doing that. Oh yeah, we didn't figure it out, did we? So let's do that while we're here. Where'd that road go? Over here. Give me that. It's literally just called gravel. Am I supposed to use it as a road, or what? That looks a little bit too rugged. Maybe I'll have it come out over here. Although, once again, we sort of have to ignore the fact that the edges of these drop off like this, because in reality they wouldn't, but I try to lower the edges of the tiles to make it less likely to see the edges of tiles over the edges of other tiles, if you understand what I mean. Now let's talk about another part of this comment. Also, will you have any 060 or 080 on the line for heavy and light switch work in the yards? I know Ben Neal has some great models you'll be able to use. No, I can't actually. And I think they are safe to reskin too, as long as you give them credit, of course. Here's the thing. A lot of Ben Neal's models are available, but the dependencies aren't on the DLS. There are no Mikados, for example. Every single Mikado on the download station is a reskin of or uses dependencies from Ben Neal's Ben Neal's Mikados, which are not available on the download station. So you can't have a Mikado on a multiplayer route, at least not an American one, which is a problem for me, considering. So, as much as I like his engines, and there are some out there on the DLS that I can use, for example, Lee, which I do use on this route already. Not all of his models are available, so it's tough to just go, oh yeah, it's a Ben Neal model, I can use that. I really need to, I need to vet every single one. And I need to vet, every asset that I use, and I started creating a list of assets that I can use. But they are, it can be sometimes overly difficult to find an asset that works for what you're doing. That said, I am using an 060 already. There's one over in Mason's Landing, just down the way, that does switching duties. I think in the episode of the Zombie Train that just came out, I think you get to see him a little bit. And by just came out, I mean a week ago, 293, where we watched the AI. I think you get to see him just a little bit. So, yeah, I do have 060s, and it's funny you mentioned 080s. 080s are the only engine that every single railroad on the Tolbrin Peninsula has. So, yeah, I will have 080s hanging around. It's just, sometimes it's difficult to get my hands on them, and I'm pretty sure those, yeah, I can reskin. At least, I think so. But I'm not about to be reskinning them myself. If you'd like to participate in the Tolbrin reskin project, let me know. And that goes out to anybody. But you can see all these things on. I have a set of documents. Icer, if you want a link to the folder, just poke me on Skype about it, and I'll give you the link. It has all of my spreadsheets and everything, and you can use them. Or you can look at them if you want to look at the the stuff that's going on here. Or you could use them for inspiration if you wanted, I know you're building your own route, which you do mention in the next part of this comment. So, let me see if I can get this right first. That seems right. The thing is, you just don't get, don't get the ability to give these guys the kind of narrow right-of-way that they're supposed to have. So now we connect our rail line to our highway, or our trolley line to the highway up there. Sort of. In the sense that there's a road that connects them. Oop. I went driving down the New London Turnpike with Madison. I think I talked about this on the podcast as well. And... or maybe I talked about it on my stream. I did a Minecraft stream. And we had fun, mostly because we were doing this wings thing, which I wanted to talk about on stream and didn't get to. But the thing is, it sort of occurred to me how much empty area there is, because that's a lot of empty area. And also that there's a lot of dirt and gravel roads that are just hanging around, that are just part of the road system, but they just aren't paved. And, you know, that thought sort of struck me, like, you know, it must be nice living out here, in a way, because it's like, you know, you're separated from everything, you don't have to worry about anything, there's no, you know what, that's too invisible for me. There's nobody to bother you pretty much. You normally don't have, like, most neighbors. You don't really have any neighbors. Where's that little green, or not green. You know, let me go get an intersection. Sorry, hold on, brain working. Never mind, brain not working. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, there's so many... Okay, so say you live out there, it must be nice, right? I'm going to use the BNSF 51 because I trust that one. Must be nice. Unless you have to go to the grocery store, in which case it almost certainly sucks. Because, like I said, you're in the middle of nowhere. It's like, well... just getting anywhere is a hassle. I'll just leave it at that. Getting anywhere is a hassle. And as wonderful as it would be to live out in South County, in the middle of nowhere, with nobody around, or with this big house and huge tracts of land. Oh my god, it would suck. It would suck. I would lose my mind. Because it's like, oh, let me drive 30 minutes to get to the nearest store or restaurant, or anything. You know, maybe I would end up going to restaurants less. Certainly would get delivery less, because nobody will deliver to you. But, man, it's gotta suck. I get that there are upsides. There are totally upsides, and I see it. But, like, nuh-uh. Nope, I'll pass. Okay, so we have to build this rail line, right? This is the next step. Now that our terrain is basically done, we have to get a ruling grade up this way. And I think I'm going to try for 1% and see what happens from this spot right here. So this is how we do gradients around here. It's been a while since we built track with a steady gradient. But this is how we do it. Whoops, I did it wrong. So, use our handy-dandy gradient tool here. Alright, so, yeah, we've got 1 degree, and you point in this direction, and you click at this end of the track. And then here, and then here, and then here. I did not click on the right half of the track. The other thing is, we need to get rid of this spline point, because that was placed there when I was doing the other thing, and then we need to go at it again. There, and then there, and then there. Yeah, see, we're not gaining ground here. The track is consistently underground still, so that means that 2%, or that 1% is not enough. It almost is. It almost is. It's very, very close, but it's not above ground. Also, the river here is a little bit wide. So let's try something that's actually not that far off from that. This part can probably stay 1%. But let's do 1.2. No, not just 0.2. 1.2. From this point, once again. I believe that I am clicking on the track. Okay, we've caught up to the ground. The difference is I still think this track here that's below water level. No, you know what? Actually, that's quite close. The issue is we're making a lot of large cuts here. Also, I never finished this river. Hold on. Let's do this first, because this is something that needs to be done. Alright, so that's 29, this is 35. Let's find something in the middle. Won't you meet me in the middle? Okay. So between 29 and 35 is like 32-ish. Okay, didn't exactly work the way I wanted it to, but we're getting somewhere. If we lower some ground here, we might actually make some ground. Like so. Okay, if we add some like rapids textures or things here, it might work. It might work fine. Okay. The other thing is, we can sneak along the edge of this a little bit more, just to, I mean, A, add more track length, because, you know, that's what you do. But also, in order to have fewer deep cuts. Now, this is narrow gauge. This is, you know, the reason narrow gauge ends up with a lot of tight turns and stuff isn't because it's bound to have it, even though narrow gauge is better suited for this kind of thing. But there is one ring to rule them all when it comes to deciding what gauge you're building, and it really isn't the terrain. It's money. It's always money. So, if we look at this, right, you could totally get up here with a standard gauge. You know, with a standard gauge line. If you wanted to dig the cuts and drill the tunnels and build the embankments that you needed to do it. That's not weird, that's normal. That's logic, I should say. You know, obviously that sort of makes it sound like, well, standard gauge can go everywhere, why didn't they build standard gauge everywhere? Well, the fact of the matter is that standard gauge can't make as tight of turns. And to an extent, standard gauge can't climb as steep of grades, although that second bit is not totally true. Standard gauge locomotives, because they are larger, they just have more power. And so, while you may have a very powerful narrow gauge locomotive for its size, you know, if you have it hauling, or you know, if you're calculating what it's hauling by a certain tonnage, the standard gauge locomotive is going to be able to haul more, you know, unless you've got a comparably sized engine, in which case, well, now you're just building a very small standard gauge locomotive. You know, standard gauge locomotives can be bigger, therefore they can be bigger, therefore they can, they can haul more. It's just that narrow gauge carloads are smaller, so they can get away with that sort of thing. Okay, so here's the thing, right? A, I accidentally left this, you know, cut open. Didn't want to do that. B, I did a lot of things. Okay, hold on. We need to get rid of this. C, we're too low, because the river keeps cutting into where we are. Okay, that was the last thing I did. And D, It's rewind time. Now it's time to turn on the 5-meter grid. Hopefully this doesn't go badly. Alright, apply that to... Don't show the warning again. That, and that. Also this. That I already... No, I didn't already do it with that. Interesting. Okay, and that if I didn't do it with it. And those guys don't need it. So, we're going to be doing our cuts and fills here with the 5-meter grid. The other thing is that... So what is the gradients for back here? Because we can probably start this earlier. No, that's wicked steep. So getting it up to where it is problematic already. In fact, what I'm probably going to do is have it climb in the side of the hill here. Because we have to start at this level pretty much no matter what. We don't have a lot of options here. But yeah, so the advantage of narrow gauge, really, is that you can stick to the contour lines of the ground more easily, and therefore you can spend less money on doing cuts and fills. It's not like narrow gauge has this magical property that makes it cost less. It costs less because it's smaller, and because due to the fact that it is smaller, you can make tighter turns with it, basically. That's it. You can make tighter turns with it, and that allows you to stick to the contour lines more easily, spend less money on things like cuts and fills, which are relatively costly. Well, they really are all the costs of building a railroad, if we're going to be honest. Those are the principal costs. Comparatively, rail does not cost that much. It's sticks of metal. It's not ridiculous in terms of price. You can lay straight rail across flat land, and you can do it cheaply, and you can do it quickly. Ask the Central Pacific. So, yeah, on the whole, the thing that makes narrow gauge attractive is the fact that you can stick close to contour lines. And so that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to look at the ground here and figure out what our best course of action is in terms of saving metaphorical money. And that means making the railroad look less ridiculous with cuts and fills. Now you guys may not remember this from the original Mason Valley. That's okay. It didn't exist. We are going our own way now. This railroad is not supposed to be the Geiger Mountains Railroad exactly as it was however many years ago when I built it for the first time. This railroad is the Geiger Mountains Railroad as I would build it today with everything that I know about building routes. You know, I'm not going to dumb myself down for the sake of building the railroad as it once was. So, this now goes down. Here's the other thing that I'll do. So, this is the other thing that we can do to sort this kind of thing out. So, if we punch in a 1.5% grade and apply it to this, we'll see if we come out where we want to. Doesn't look like it. We're not showing up above the ground here. And in fact, we aren't even very close to the ground. So that means either the line is going to have to get longer or the grade is going to have to get steeper. So that means we're going to have to do a 2% grade. This should do us fine, hypothetically. It didn't. Well, we'll have to figure something else out then. So we have to get up to this level from down there. Now this is it. Like, we're here. But the question is that the best way to get here in terms of cuts and fills? Is there an area where we could make our cuts and fills smaller? I love designing railroad. I love designing right-of-way in general because it lets you do stuff like this. I didn't mean to put that extra spline point in there. And I know there's more to Icer's comment, and I need to get to it before we run out of time on this episode. We've got half an hour left. We're running out of time. I was actually trying to seg into this because he was talking about his own route. He says, I'm planning to do a route in DEM era, 1940, 1960s, and it'll be PRR where? Or PRR. Where? That'll be a surprise, and you'll see whenever I post pics in the Skype chat. Oh man, I want to see where you're doing. I want to see where you're doing. I want to see where you're going. I want to see what you're doing. That's what I said in English. Sorry, I'm figuring this out. I want to get this alignment settled before we end the episode today. And I don't want to make it like Morro Castle. I don't want it to be like absurdly curvy. Ernie. God. There's this Flappy Bird thing, and it hurts me on the inside to hear that Ernie noise. Even when I make it myself, it makes me go, ugh. It's like some people in Moist. Okay, straighten this out. No, okay, don't straighten that out, I guess. Oh wait, what am I doing? Let's try to do this one thing at a time, because I feel like we're trying to do too many parts of the alignment at once, and it's hurting us because we're not building it in a sensible manner. Alright, so we'll just do that. We want to get this to this level here, which, okay, let's, we'll put this right on the edge, and what we'll do is we'll remove the gradient. So that'll be that. And let's do that from there. Because that'll show that this is still very much a work in progress. What we need is another spline point here, if this is what we're doing. Oops. Here. What? Oh, there we go. Okay. I'm trying to maintain the straight curve, straight sort of thing. Now, this still might be too much gradient, but we will have to find out. So we start from here. We're still in cut. That's not a good sign. Okay, we're actually way higher than we need to be. So what? We need to get closer to the edge of this. Something about a happy medium, right? Okay, so the other thing is, now this is at this level. I want to put this at whatever level it's going to be at. Get rid of that gradient there. What gradient is that? That's flat, pretty much. Okay. Okay, so now this is mostly above ground. Mostly above ground. I'm doing a terrible job of keeping our curve radii wide on this stretch. It just doesn't look right from up here. Like, just the geometry of it doesn't look right from up here. Honestly, this should probably be one wide curve if I had to, if I had to say. This should probably be one wide curve. Well, let's see if we can get this to work. And let's try a more moderate grade again. 1.5. So, I don't know what you're planning, Icer, but if you don't want to do like I do and make things all DLS-like, you can definitely get away with using some good old-fashioned K&L trains on your route. Somebody mentioned that in one of the videos. You should use K&L trains. And I said, yeah, I can't. Somebody else pointed out that I couldn't, and I appreciate them for doing that. Okay, this is looking better. This is a little tight, but we can remedy that. We're getting somewhere. It's also a little sort of kinked. It's kinky. Speaking of blazing saddles. You know what I can do now? I can actually move this because we've found our gradient that pretty much works. I might increase it to like 1.6. Okay. Oh, it seems to already have increased to 1.6 around here. Let's return it to 1.5. I just want to have minimal cut and fill, if at all possible. Also, I think I screwed it up already. No, that one's just... Wait a minute. Why is this... Hold on. That. This. Okay. This. That. The other. You. And you. Oh, crap. I see. Because this is now underground. So that means it's even closer to water level than before. Yeah, it might be worth increasing it to 1.6. Also prevent some of this area from being a cut. That actually looks pretty good, though. Maybe I would push it in just a little bit if I was being uber picky about it. But for now, this is not half bad. The other thing that I could do... So if we're going to have like a fat yard here, right? You have one track that goes sort of around the edge, and that's your thoroughfare. Except we probably wouldn't have that here. Maybe the whole yard would just be bent like that. No, see, the thing is, right? The thing is, this is a new track. There's going to be another one that wraps around that way, and it's probably a lot steeper. Nah, I'm not going to do that. Never mind. Scratch that. Alright, ETA 1.5 years from now-ish, she says, for his route. Plan on doing the same route, but in modern times, so 2016 and ETA for that will be about a year, too. Okay, so you're going to be doing the modern one first, then? So a year, and then a year and a half, or an extra half a year to backdate it? Cool. For the New Year's is to get started on these routes, do more fun things with friends, more stuff with trains. Of course. I would love to do the same. Alright, I'm gonna undo my placement of the, yeah, that. I will make this just a little bit more oblique, like I said. That's actually really good. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to straighten this out a little bit more. I'm going to move this to like that. Because we're going to have the line duck way in here. So instead of following the riverbank, it follows the edge of the mountain. And your passenger station will be somewhere over here. Probably like right there. And that means you can get this track that comes in here and would go in there, or a Y that goes up there. So you've got room to do some dual gauge over here. And a nice yard. Although it's going to be a stub end yard because the track goes up that way. So... Oop. Oop. Ah, now we're doing something. Look at this. We got fill instead of cut. Why does that sound the same as the Alcos do? Well, now I want to push these in towards the hillside a little bit more, just so that we get the cut-fill balance that we want. Same thing with this, even. Push that in towards the hillside, push this in towards the hillside. Past this is not ready, so pull this that way. And then this, probably like that. Yeah, I like your timeline for your route there. I think, yeah, we talked in the aforementioned Skype group about what my plans are for this year in terms of this route. And I think that, hopefully they're realistic. Hopefully they're realistic plans. I'd like to get a lot done. Let's see. Alright, there we go. We have a pretty balanced amount of cut and fill now. And we have a railroad that looks sort of like a railroad. You can build a broad gauge railroad through any terrain you want if you've got the money to build the cuts and fills necessary, because you can't start matching what the terrain looks like with a broad gauge railroad. It just won't be able to make the turns you need. So it all comes down to turn radius. And that's what makes narrow gauge much more expensive as opposed to just a little bit more expensive, or inexpensive. Or sorry, much less expensive as opposed to just a little less expensive. Because if it was just about the equipment and stuff, it wouldn't be that much less expensive. It's still narrow gauge. It's still locomotives. You're still buying locomotives and rail cars and stuff. They aren't that much cheaper, even if they are smaller. Because, you can buy a lump of iron that's a car. A car's worth of steel is not the same price as a car. So, it's not about the materials that go into it for the most part. If you look at clothes, it's pretty much the same price for every size. That sort of thing. It's not about the material for the most part. It's more of, okay, so this is what it costs to produce it. It's about the labor and the machining and that sort of thing. That's where your cost comes from. Alright, so if we're going up this at 1%, now we're going to be having fun with this. Alright, he says, I just hope 2019 is better because 2018 was the worst year ever. Wow, I assume that's not an exaggeration for you, because that really sucks if this was your worst year. But, take Homer's advice, and this is something that I love to bring up. If you watch the Simpsons movie, it's got to be one of my favorite quotes from the Simpsons movie. Bart goes, this is the worst day of my life. And Homer goes, worst day of your life so far. Don't worry, so far. So, don't worry, this may have been your worst year, but it's okay. It's only the worst year so far. No, but in honesty, I do hope you have a better year if that's the case. I do hope the new year is better for you too, Ellis, he says. Thank you. For you and your girlfriend too, and the family as well, and good luck on the house too. Awesome. I didn't know you'd be so cute on this while talking to your girlfriend, as some guys don't like to show or let others hear their public affection. And, well, let's be honest, public displays of affection they can go both ways, Obviously being sweet towards someone that you're smitten with, that you're in love with, is one thing. But, sometimes it's tough to draw the line at where public affection should begin and end. So that's probably why some people are a little bit reserved about it. But yeah, I was trying to find the bit in the video where that happened so that I could, reference it and joke about it specifically. And also for funsies, sometimes I'll let people hear bits of our conversations, because I usually try to be a little bit more theatrical and a little bit more comedic, even in conversations with Madison. One of my philosophies is that you get farther in life by being your own comic relief, or at least you enjoy life more when you're your own comic relief, which obviously can be totally infuriating to tons of people, but just because it's in a way it's being trolly. But it's not to the point of getting somebody super angry. It's just being being a ball buster is what it is. It's different when it's somebody that you know. So, anyway, I digress. What I'm trying to say is, we definitely have fun. And she called me up the other day. I was in the call with all the horsemen, and to preface this, she had stolen from me, and I don't mean that, but she had taken my insulated lunchbox that I use for work, because I was working from home. I honestly didn't feel like going in that day. It wasn't because the car was broken down. I was working from home. I had actually made her a sandwich, so, role reversal, feminism. I had made her lunch for her and packaged it up and put it in my insulated lunchbox so that she could take it to work and have her sandwich be nice and cold. And she didn't give it back. It disappeared, and I did not see it for the next couple of days. And I went to go, and it was like the weekend or something. And oh no, sorry, it must have been the weekend before New Year's Eve, because the next time I wasn't, the next day I worked from home, or the next day I worked from home, and then I went to go to work again, and I realized, hey, wait a minute, my lunchbox is gone. Where's my lunchbox? I realized it like the next week or something. It had been a while, is my point, and I realized my lunchbox is gone. And then I remembered, I gave it to Madison, and then it hit me, I'm never seeing that again, huh? Because I was 100% certain that she had forgotten it at work, and it was gone. And to my credit, she had forgotten it at work, but she did go back and get it. So, it wasn't gone. But I was at least right about that. And so, she calls me up, on my cell phone, and I'm on the call with all the horsemen guys, and she goes up and I'm like, hey, she goes, hi, and I go, I want my lunchbox back, and everybody cracks up, and she goes, no, it's okay, I'm on my way to bring it to you right now, and I had like her EpiPen or something, and I didn't mean to hold it hostage, but I was like, okay, good, I'm holding this thing hostage until you give me my lunchbox back, and she's like, I was wondering where that was, and I was like, hey, you left it on the couch, I put it here for you to take it. You never took it. Because, like I said, we've been doing a wings thing. So, Rhode Island, because it's small, has statewide contests for food between our restaurants on a regular basis. Also, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just building tracks. I don't even think this is what I should be doing here. But anyway. Yeah, what should I be doing? I really need to find like a half-decent analog for this instead of just building tracks randomly. But yeah, I want my lunchbox back. She's like, all right, I'm coming to bring it to you, and we did that exchange. But yeah, so wings, right? It's called Rhode Island Food Fights, and you can look it up online. RI Food Fights. If you are coming to Rhode Island for an extended period of time, and it happens to be one of these months, and you happen to like one of these foods, go for it. Get it. Because you can hit up like multiple of these places in a day without breaking a sweat, because it's Rhode Island. It is a statewide competition where you get coupons for dozens of places. And we had like 40 of them. Dozens of places across the state for like 6 wings or a sandwich or a burger, depending on what month it is. And God, I love Rhode Island. I thought I would never say that, but I really do. Because it's just like, where else? You know, where else do you get this sort of thing? This is a nice little bridge. So anyway, yeah, that was that. That was the whole reason we were driving down the London Turnpike the way we were. Okay, let's connect to this here. Hello? Did it connect? Ground control to Major Tom. Ground control to Major Tom. Hello? Okay. Thought we lost him for a second. Yeah, that's what we did. Rhode Island Food Fights. Wings. 6 wings per coupon per place. We went to a bunch of them, and I found my new favorite wings place in the state, which is, I suppose, exactly what this kind of thing is for. But also we get to vote on what our favorite was. Again, I'm pretty sure that I found it. I'm so happy with some of these wings that we got. They were so good. They were so good. I can't even describe it. They were huge and delicious. Okay, so we have this, and this would go this way if the dual gauge still existed. Just like that would go that way if the dual gauge still existed. So I've got to think about this now, because we're designing a yard, and this needs a little bit more care than some of our previous yard-related escapades. Because we have to make it make sense, first of all, of course. But we have to do it right. We're dealing with 2 different gauges now. Is there an end of dual gauge sign? Because that'd be pretty nice. Oh no, don't do that. The other thing I should probably do is make this track invisible or something. I added all these extra splines just to get that one to line up right. Because I don't want there to be any dual gauge. So this, right? What are we going to do here? How are we going to set this up? And what is going to be here anyway? So this we can use for log transfer, which is what we would be using it for, what it is for. Here's. I'll just make this parallel so that we have more of a yard lead. So we don't actually have dual gauge right here. We have parallel rails. We have parallel bars, man. And right there. It's really hard to make these radii match because this is not quite circular. And I really just need to make this as flat and on the level as the other rails here. No, good sir, I'm on the level. Okay. But this... I still need to finish this comment. We've got 5 minutes left, crap. So I hope this is not too big to read everything, but it'll be great to have the girlfriend in an episode or two, but I understand if she has to work while you're recording. Also, at the time of watching this episode, I was working on my fiction route and watching NCIS, as it's great for background sound, but hearing you talk or ramble on is a good source to use for background sound too. Well, thank you. I love rambling. So aside for your girlfriend to take a look, candywarehouse.com, it's like a Sam's Club or a Costco's, but for candy, even the rare candy that is not sold in stores. I will not show her that, because that would be a bad idea. Trying to curtail that candy spending. No, I'm kidding. I'll probably show it to her. It's funny, because she was going to be here for this, not for the episode, but she was going to be here. And instead she decided to go out to dinner with her sister because she realized I had to record under construction. And, you know, it's not her favorite thing to be around because we're not hanging out. She's sitting there playing her own game and I'm playing this and talking at the camera. So, it's a little bit unfortunate. But, yeah, no, I don't know where I was going with that. But yeah, no, I like having her here for these episodes. Just to have her input or whatever. I did have one under construction episode way back when. I think it was recorded while I was at my dorm and she had visited me, or she was visiting me. Where she was in an under construction episode. She was the one that suggested splitting the two lines up on the Gilson Eastern. You know, the way they are. The 2 and 2. So, you know, she has contributed to this map. Okay, so do that. This is not a great yard ladder. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I should say, because this is the older track, it doesn't actually matter whether it's a good yard ladder or not. Or at least, it doesn't matter, like, I don't have to have it within those parameters to get the switch stands to, or sorry, the switch points to show up. Yeah, we're almost at 2 hours. This flew by. Like, the beginning of the episode was sort of, you know, short, and then I started reading this comment, and the rest of the time flew by. Honestly, I should always try to tackle comments at the top of the show. But for whatever reason, I lollygagged on this. Sorry about that, Icer. But yeah, no, I would love to get her on more of these videos. Honestly, I loved having her on Sunday Driving, which was like, you know, that was like her show. That show was pretty much so that she could come here and fool around with us. But anyway, we have to finish doing this. I think this is just going to be it. This is our yard. Like, I didn't intend for this to be the way it is, but it is. I still need to have all of the hallmarks of Mason Valley, sorry. I need to have all the hallmarks of Mason Valley, one of which was a Y. So I need to have a Y here somewhere. There just really isn't a lot of room for it. Maybe if I push this all the way over to here, I bring that in there. I don't know. We may end up tearing this up and building it again in the near future. But the idea is that this is going to be the narrow gauge side of the river. This is going to be all theirs. What I want, actually, right now is a narrow gauge roundhouse. Or at least some sort of engine house. Let's see what we've got for roundhouses again. Roundhouse. Oh, that's right, we've got this. Oh, of course we have to use this. Let's see what else we have for narrow gauge roundhouses. We have Skagway. Maybe a little too small for here. Or a little too large for here. Yeah, too small. This is that again. This is that. Radford, I think this is standard gauge. Yeah, it looks like it. It's really big, too. This is what we're using on the other side of the river, isn't it? Looks like it. This is a small one. North Walpole Roundhouse, we're using that in Olive. Narrow gauge, 8-stall roundhouse. Something for use somewhere, but not here. Durango Roundhouse. Could be good. Also, 8 stalls. 9 stalls. 9 stalls. No. It's 10 stalls. A little bigger than what we need. Gunnison Roundhouse. Definitely bigger than what we need. Durango Roundhouse, already saw that. CPR Roundhouse. CPR Roundhouse in Stratford. Maybe I'll use that somewhere. Chama. How many stalls is this? Another 8-stall roundhouse. Not bad, though. Might use that. I'm just not sure how many stalls I actually want here. How about this? Yeah, that'll be good. No, not that. But yeah, this. I'm not sure if this one's, like, I have 2 of them, and I'm not sure which one is built in and which one is not. But we're probably going to end up using one of these. Here, I'll just plop that one down. I think that one's fine. Let me see. Let me see. Turntable, 3-foot 6-inch. Okay, I made the right decision. I went back on what I originally said, and I made the right decision. So, turntable A-frame with 3-foot roundhouse installed from DLS. This one. The ones at the top, those are not installed from DLS. Those are modified. So, we have to include the things that we had there, which was, well, there was a passing siding, and a forestry, but we're not going to be doing the forestry. We did have a Y, though. That's what we don't have yet. And I'm not sure where that's going to fit in, if we can even fit one in, but we have a roundhouse now, so I guess that's fine. We have 2 small roundhouses, one on each side of the river. They're basically back to back. So, yeah, I don't know, we'll have to figure that one out. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have thoughts or ideas about this yard over here, feel free to comment. If you have thoughts about anything, feel free to comment. And I will see you next week. Trainman out.